And hey everyone, Heather Williams here with another Fireside Chat. As always, co-hosting with Michael Huffuk from the CDE Expanded Learning Division. And this is the third in a series of having some really great chats with folks who are our California Expanded Learning Leadership Awardees. And they were received their recognition for this special award a few weeks ago, actually over a month ago now, at the end of October during our annual Lights On Afterschool celebration. And Lights On Afterschool is actually a national celebration of after-school programs, for-school programs, summer learning programs that takes place all across the country. And so I know we had thousands of sites, even just in California, that were celebrating and highlighting all the great work that they do. And then also thousands more sites celebrating across the country. And in California, one of the ways we like to celebrate is to recognize the leadership of our field. We have a lot of amazing leaders in our field all across the state. And so we got a chance to celebrate a great group of folks, and we did not get to hear from them though. We heard a lot about them, and so these fireside chats are a really good opportunity for them to share a little bit about why they were selected to these recognitions. And so just one note, we do refer to it as Expanded Learning Leadership Awardees, because in California, we use expanded learning to really reference not just after school, but before school, summer learning, non-school days. It's more about the way we hold that time and space as opposed to a particular time after school. So even though it's called Lights On After School, we really celebrate the entire expanded learning field. And so with that, we're just gonna jump right in. And so I'm gonna have our 4 awardees do a quick intro, and then we'll jump into a conversation. So Olivia, I'll pass it to you to get started.
Hello, my name is Olivia Kernen, and I'm the Expanded Learning Coordinator here at the Humboldt County Office of Education in Region 1. I help to coordinate the Redwood AfterSchool Network, RAN. We have over 21 school sites in our network with ACES and 21st Century grants, and now we have joyfully expanded that to the over 30 districts in our rural area that have ELOP. So we are really excited to see how expanded learning is growing and all the joyful opportunities we have for that. I'm going to pass it to Julie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Julie Jarrett. I am the Senior Director of Expanded Learning for the Butte County Office of Education. I've joyfully been doing this job for 22 years and have seen a lot of changes in expanded learning, and am very honored to have received this recognition. And I want to thank Gloria Halley for the nomination, because it really does mean a lot to me. And I enjoy sharing it with all the other fabulous leaders throughout California, because expanded learning really makes a difference in the students and families that we serve. So thank you so much. And I'll turn it over to Richelle.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Richelle Dials. I work for Teen Charter Schools. So we have TK to 8th grade. I've been doing this a little over 5 years, and I was a preschool teacher for 10 years before this. So TK to 8th grade is a little different, but I'm getting used to it. And I truly am honored I got awarded this, because, you know, sometimes we don't realize what other people see in us. And I will pass it to Jamie.
Hi, I'm Jamie Cherry, and I'm with the Richland School District in Shafter, California. I've been in education for 25 years and 12 years with expanded learning. We're excited with the growth and the opportunity that ELOP has given us in our district to provide a lot of enrichments for our kids that don't normally get it.
Well, welcome all 4 of you awardees. Just excited to be hearing on this fireside chat with you today. You know, we talk about California's resources for expanded learning that are unlike any other place in the country and possibly the world. And most of the time when people talk about the resources that are unique in California, people talk about the billions of dollars, which is pretty cool. You know, I like billions, that's a lot of zeros. But what's really the treasure that we have in California is our leadership and our people. It's the humans that are taking the lead. And I am not shy of saying that high quality expanded learning programs transform people's lives. And by that, I mean not only the children, but also the staff and the adults and the leaders. When you're really knowing that when you show up, you're giving all of yourself and your heart to support the student or the staff person, whoever they are and whatever they need on that day, it is mutually transformative. And it's why I've been in the work now for, I think, 35 years. I think I have a few years on all of you. But, you know, so what I'd love to hear is your why. You know, what drives you as I look at each of your faces on the screen, and I had the chance, Olivia, to be up in your neck of the woods, I think in October, to speak at your Redwood AfterSchool Network conference. And so many beautiful humans got a chance to talk to and be with. And I think the only place I haven't visited is Richelle, is yours. I've certainly worked with Julie and Jamie and been in their neck of the woods many times. So, Richelle, I'm going to start with you. You know, tell us a little bit about why you do this and why it means so much to you.
You know, just the impact I make on these children and the families. You know, a lot of people, you know, their home isn't the safe place. Sometimes it is school, you know, so it's like, what can I do to make sure you're in a safe environment, you know? And even a lot of my employees are, they're younger ones, but I love it because this is a step into seeing what you really want to do. Do you want to go in education field, you know, and knowing the impact the after school program does make on the kids and these parents, you know, they have to work. And like I said, just everything I can get in. So bringing in STEAM or bringing in, you know, fun activities for them. A lot of times, or in the summer camp, we do a lot of field trips. You know, these kids never got to see an aquarium, or who's to say they can go these places. So knowing that their voice matters. So I do surveys, you know, what do you guys want? Culinary arts, you know, like stuff like that. So that would be my why, knowing the effect I make on the families.
Well, you said something just at the start of your comments, Richelle, that stood out to me when you said some of our students might not, you know, home night might not be that safe of a place. And we know that's true all across the state, all across California. But for you to know that tells me something about the way you get to know your students and the way that student must feel safe around you to allow themselves to be known. So what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Like, how do you move about with these students and your staff so you know who is in a situation?
Well, one, we have a suggestion box. So a lot of times too, kids' concerns, they don't feel comfortable with you, like coming to their teacher. So they do write it on their note, who their name is, and if they want to talk or not talk, you know, like whatever they're comfortable with. I do have an office, so that's my safe place for a lot of my staff. When they have issues, they know I'm always here for them. Parents, you know, can be a little rude sometimes. I always tell them I'm always here, no matter what. So making sure they see me, that makes a big difference. So instead of just sitting doing the back end, once the after school program gets in, I make sure I go to each classroom. You know, they're doing culinary arts, I go down there and I'm doing it with them. You know, I know that builds that relationship with my kids and the students. I mean, the staff also.
Yeah, awesome. Let's go to Richland and Jamie. Good to see you. You've always been a person with a lot of energy and passion and opinions in a good way. Tell us about what's in your heart.
So my heart is my kids, and making sure that we meet their needs, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally. They know that they are in a safe place, like Richelle had said, but they're also getting experiences that they would never have the opportunity to have. Listening to them, getting their ideas, getting them to think outside of the box is huge. But again, it's just about building those positive relationships. So many times we talk about we're here for the kids, but in after school, we're really here for the kids. They have those opportunities to see us. And when I'm on the campus during the day and I walk by and those kids, from the playground, they're all coming up swarming, Miss Cherry, Miss Cherry. It's a great feeling for me. I can have a bad day and I see those little kids coming up and they just want to tell me about their day. Those are those positive reinforcements for them, and the excitement in their eyes to come. And so, kids want to be here, and that's an amazing thing.
So forgive me for calling you out, but
It's okay.
before we started recording, Jamie said it's already been a week. And I said, it's only Monday. So sounds like you might need to go visit a campus and have some kids swarm you and give you a little bit of a boost.
Yes, that's always a good thing with those kids.
I want to circle back, but I'll move from Richland to Julie and at Butte County. Been in your neck of the woods many times over the years and have seen the kind of work and leadership that you've provided. And I think all of you have led in some unique circumstances. But Julie, I'm thinking of, the challenges of 5 years ago with the campfire and all the devastation that was there. But so I've seen your heart. I've seen your heart in action. But tell us your why.
Well, I'm very blessed to have fabulous staff. And so my relationship with my staff, I truly value. We did a little assessment here in the office, and there are 7 of us here at the County Office of Ed that provide support to our 25 sites. And we have about 150 to 175 frontline staff in a good year. Staffing shortage has kind of kicked us all in the behind. But we did a little assessment of how many years of service we have given to the Butte County Office of Education, and most importantly, expanded learning. And we had over 100 years of service. And so the staff that I have are really the catalyst for making Butte County's program fabulous. They're engaged, they do fabulous things out at the sites. And I'm just in awe when I go out and do site visits. I am a project and a program person. I love my office and I love my desk, but I am in awe at the work that they do. They know their kids forwards and backwards. They know their families. They're all from the communities in which they serve. And so there's that innate connection, both where they reside, but also with their cultural backgrounds. We have a very strong Hmong population in Butte County, and we've got great Hmong staff. So they work really good culturally with the parents and the grandparents and do things that I never could do for those sites and those kids. And so for me, it's really finding my niche and where I fit in. I'm not a teacher, I'm not a principal, but I've always loved taking a dream and making it something that you can touch and feel and hold on to. And 22 years ago when we started, it was Basil Snap and we got $5 a day per student. And it's like, how in the world do you make that happen? And it's just, we all came together and we just shared in the relationship and the ideas and the energy, and how do we make something almost impossible possible. And over the years, we've done that. And I remember visiting one of your sites, Michael, and this fabulous young lady gave us a tour of her middle school, and it was all enclosed. It was 2 stories. And somebody asked her, what's the thing that you're most excited about expanded learning? And she was so thrilled and excited to show us her indoor garden. And all of us from Butte County, agriculture is everywhere, but she was head over heels about that garden and was so excited. And we're thinking, it's indoors, it's in a stairwell, but it was making that dream for her come true. And that was awesome. And I will never forget that. And You kind of were the one who kind of sparked that all going, providing the impossible to the students who don't have the access to dream that way.
Well, you're bringing me back to memory lane. Those days at AP Giannini Middle School, about 6 blocks from Ocean Beach. I don't know if you remember, you can see Ocean Beach from the classrooms, and many of the kids even had never been to the beach. You know, it's like, that's talk about expanding horizons. But you also took me back in memory when you mentioned Basil Snap. I mean, sometimes we think like people come up with the craziest, worst acronyms in the world. I think that stood for Before and After School Safe Neighborhood Partnership Program. Was that it?
That's it. And before that, it was ASL Snap, because there wasn't before school, it was all after school.
So
It got worse.
thank goodness our only battle now is ELOP versus ELOP. So
Yes.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome.
I forgot that you had come for a visit back in the Sunset District in San Francisco, but thanks for that memory. Olivia, so good to see you again, and to have been with you so recently. Tell us what's in your heart. Tell us your why.
I think my why, first off, Julie, I really relate to you. It's exciting to hear everybody's story. I'm in a really unique place where I love my desk and I love my projects and I love reporting and grants. So, you know, finding your place in education where you can make a big difference can be a little different. Your story can look a little different when your skill set is grant writing and grant reporting and fiscal reporting. It's not always quite as fun as being with the students, but what expanded learning has provided me is this amazing opportunity to be part of a community that serves so many rural students. I have the privilege of supporting our expanded learning coordinators. Our expanded learning coordinators here in Humboldt County that are like rock stars. They go in every single day and make such a huge difference on not only the students they serve, but the educational community, the community at large that they serve. It's truly, truly amazing. And then also the generations. We have so many of our coordinators that are now having children of their original students now in their programs. And it's really a beautiful thing to see in these more rural areas what after school can do. So I feel very privileged to be able to use my skills as far as grant writing and things like that to help support our coordinators and really putting on professional developments that support what they would like to see. All of our network meetings are really based on the question, the network meeting before. What would you like to see? What would help you? What can we do to make your sites the strongest they can absolutely be so your students can have the best possible outcomes and experiences? And, you know, I never knew we would be doing so much karate or going to the sand dunes or, you know, so many times, but here we are. Really answering what the students would want and what our coordinators would like to have to help make that happen.
Thanks, Olivia. And I was also have talked about this a lot since I've come back from your event, but the intentional work that your county is doing with the Native American population, and it's very powerful. There's more to explore there in terms of those unique needs. I wonder, you know, there's people who are tuning in who maybe are starting their career. There's a lot of the site coordinator network has a lot of people who are just a year or two in. You have a lot of people who are, I mean, and listen, Julie and Olivia, you might talk about loving your desk, but I've seen you around your people, and they love you. You are human centered and relational centered. So don't fool us about the desk stuff. I wonder, Richelle, what's something that you're proud of? You know, something that sticks out to you that makes you proud as a leader that is happening under your watch?
I haven't really thought about that, but I don't know. I would just say knowing that I can make their voices be heard, so I'm proud I can do that. I'm happy I can keep the program going. They tried to write a grant for the middle school, 3 years denied. And then I came in and helped and they finally got it, so knowing we're growing, we started at another school, so just knowing the things they want, I can get like do the back end, but like Olivia said, we can make it happen, so I would say I'm very proud of that because being a preschool teacher forever, that was my thing. I thought that's what I was gonna, be a director for them and that was it. But now doing what I do, I love it. Getting tutors, knowing these parents can't help them with homework. Like we can do that. We got you. We got the tutors to come in. I can pay teachers to stay after and help the kids, so just knowing their voices, the parents and the kids, I can make it happen. I'm proud of that.
That's awesome. I'll just open it up for any of the rest of you, like something that you're proud of, something that you like people to know.
I'm proud of the fact that our program is continuing to grow. We've gone from 300 under ACES and now we're at 560 kids and continuing to grow. Again, I know Julie mentioned staffing issues and that's always an issue. So it's amazing when I see that kids want to come. We have a lot of families that give the students the choice, whether they get to come or not, and the kids wanting to be here because they're provided all these wonderful enrichments in a variety of different paths is amazing for me to see. But also the fact that as with ELOP coming around, our county has banded together and we're supporting each other. So not only are we supporting our own district, but we're supporting each other in Kern County and helping other programs get off the ground and flourish and grow. And so I think those are just amazing things when you can not only help your own students in your community, but you can in your county.
That's a very important part of the story that I want to be clear. Like you've talked about the growth and you've moved from, you said 300 to what?
560, and we have a waiting list of about 100 kids.
Yeah, and that's leveraging your ELOP funding, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's a very important story to get out there because we want the legislature and the governor's office to know that this investment that has been historic and unprecedented is expanding opportunities for hundreds and hundreds of children in every community. So, yeah.
And it's also giving, I think a lot of times with, we get so focused, we're giving them a lot of the VAPA, which is the visual performing arts and stuff. And so when I started calling around to different companies to do it, and each family was going to have to pay $100 a month to do one lesson, 1 hour a week. And then we're able to provide the folklorical, hip hop, all these different baton, cheer for free for these kids. It's just an amazing. And you see these kids that would not necessarily make a tryout team, but to be able to grow and flourish, it's amazing to watch that in those kids and the excitement and stuff.
That's awesome. Olivia, how about you?
I'm really proud of the increased collaboration between our sites. In our RAN network and RAN consortium, we have many little districts with smaller schools, and through holding the space for these meetings and collaborative conversations, we've seen so many more like joint field trips or different ways that the coordinators help to support each other. And it makes me really proud that we're able to hold that space for them. An example would be this summer, finding staffing for buses is super hard up here. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a real barrier for field trips and intercession days. But we had one of our sites say, "Oh, I have a bus that day. Let me just go pick you up. Do you guys want to go to the Redwoods with us today?" And so we've had a lot of joint field trips, and I feel like that kind of spirit of working together to provide access has been something really, really amazing.
That's awesome. How about you, Julie?
For me, it would be what I would consider a premature focus on SEL. In 2017, when we experienced the Oroville Dam crisis and everything was evacuated, when the students returned, we realized that there was a need to do something different than what we had done in the past. The students didn't feel safe. They didn't feel safe anywhere. And we really, as a team, came together and really looked at social emotional learning. But from the standpoint of what can we do every single day that's different that we've done in the past. And for us, it really paid off, because then in 2018, when we experienced the campfire, we already had a mechanism in place that the students knew when they came back to the program, we were going to be welcoming, they'd feel safe, they'd be encouraged to express themselves, they would value their education, and they knew that there would be a gamut of things that they could do to take their mind off of what they've experienced. And that's not saying we didn't have a lot of staff that lost homes, but there were enough staff where students could talk to another adult other than a parent or care provider and share their experience. And there was kind of this unique camaraderie that really paid off. And just having that social emotional foundation in place, I think really helped all of our programs, our students, our staff, our families, and the teachers we serve at the school sites, because the students' attitudes were different, and they just had a different level of coping ability that we kind of shared some credit for, and we're very proud for that.
Well, Julie, I mean, I've talked to some of your folks after the campfire and even years after the campfire, and it was not just providing social emotional support for the students, but you had a place for the adults to go.
Yeah.
And even if they'd suffered a lot of loss themselves, they still had a place they knew was safe and supportive. And I know that you had worked with Tim Taylor and all of your colleagues at the county to really become a catalyst for leveraging all types of resources for the whole community. And it was reminds me a bit of who we became during COVID. You know, when all of our schools shut down, and families were maybe getting on Zoom, maybe not. You know, kids ate most of their food at school. Some families, for kids, school was like most of their nutrition, and now school was closed down. And it was expanded learning who said, we'll do what it takes. We've got the resources, we're going to do what it takes. So just that thread of being who we are and knowing our communities and families and students as we do puts us in a very unique place to be trusted in times of hardship and crisis. And these happen in all of our communities across California. I mean, the COVID and the campfire and the Oroville Dam crisis are all big things, but I'm sure each one of you encounter a family with a crisis that for that family, it's a big deal, and it's a crisis, and you become a place of support and refuge, and that's really what this is for me. So Heather?
Yeah. Well, got one more question for you all, for each of you as we round out our time. I think, from this conversation, it's really clear why each of you were selected as awardees for your region. And although none of you work with kids day to day, the conversation we've just had, for each of you, these kids, their families, the staff are front and center. And I think sometimes when adults are kind of removed from that situation, it can be very easy to get caught up into like the adult problems and the behind the scenes drama and all of this. But you've all just talked about, you know, the importance of the kids and your work centers around them. So as folks are struggling with figuring out how to roll out ELOP or navigate workforce challenges or all of these things, wondering, since you all were selected as leaders, what leadership advice do you have for others that might be in your similar position, about how you really do keep the students and the community and the families front and center? And so, Jamie, why don't we start with you this time?
Well, I'm going to go back to what Michael's always, since the day I met Michael, he'd always say, lead with love. And I think that's the biggest thing, is if you're always leading with love and you're doing what's in the best interest of the children, and providing them those opportunities they may or may not have access to, you're going to go far. And all the noise around you, the negative thoughts, or just the I can'ts, you know, we all have those little demons that tell us that, you know, for lack of a better word. But when we are focusing on the kids and we're leading with love and we're trying to provide the very best opportunity for them, everything falls into place.
Thank you, Jamie. Julie, how about you?
For us up here in Region 2, it's having a very strong open network of individuals that have religiously met on an ongoing basis for years. And we're open and honest, and we share ideas and we share issues and concerns. And we've been very blessed to have that type of connection at a different level. And then when we come back to the office, then we can share some of those ideas with our staff and have them pick and choose what would work best for their communities. We've never been a program that has dictated, because we can't tell every site what is best for them, but we give them an open door opportunity to pick and choose and try. And, you know, you always stumble along the way, but, you know, pick yourself up and move on, because we know it's all about the kids. And so I would say our regional network and the way that we share out and troubleshoot and create new ways to connect with one another, I think has really paid off. And I value that connection.
Thanks, Julie. Olivia,
Oh goodness, how do I follow those two wonderful answers? I really think listening to the communities that we serve is what keeps us going at HCOE, really making sure that we are listening to the school sites and the districts and what they'd like. And then I think regular site visits. There's nothing more inspirational than going to a site visit and seeing how hard and amazing our coordinators work and all of the students that they serve. Seeing, you know, we could be writing grants for robots or, you know, doing the purchase orders or tracking things, but really seeing the students enjoy them, that is what, like, it really refocuses why we're doing this. And so I really think site visits and asking the community what they want and responding to it the best we can is the advice I would share.
thanks, Olivia. Richelle, why don't you finish us off?
So I agree with Olivia with the listening. That's what I was going to say. But also the support. I think it's really important that the kids, the families, the students, you know, they know I'm going to support them. So any issues they have, I'm down there. You know, they know to call me. Sometimes they, you know, they're on the clock and don't feel comfortable. Call me at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be there for you, you know. So to me, it's the support. And I know that it makes a difference to my staff and the children.
Thanks, Richelle. Thanks, all of you. All of your responses were, as I was anticipating, very human-centered, right? And expanded learning is human-centered work. And as Michael said, it's not just for the kids, it's for the adults and communities and families as well. And I think each of you really, brought that forward today. And one of the reasons I love the expanded learning community is, as Michael said at the start, the rich resource we have of the humans that work in this field. And you all are truly, truly amazing. And we appreciate your leadership, not just for your students, but for your families, for your communities, for your staff. Very clear why each of you were selected this year. So just appreciate you all and the work you do each day. And Michael, I will turn it over to you for closing comments.
Well, a wonderful few minutes here with all of you. And Jamie, I hope you start feeling better. For those who are watching, she's not like leaning over to talk to someone that's outside of the room. She's under the weather today. So thank you. Hope you feel better soon. So, and thank you for taking my closing line of leading with love. You can use it anytime. So, Richelle, Olivia, Jamie, Julie, I hope you realize how much you've inspired others through your work. It's why you were selected. I hope you realize that, Jamie, as you show up on the campus and children surround you, and it gives you that extra bunch of energy, and you've all talked about that in different ways. I'm here in my office, and being on this Zoom with the four of you has reminded me of my why and has filled my heart today. I'm sure you've done that for others. So I hope that you will take in the meaning of this recognition and this award, and not deflect it, but embrace it and recognize that you have made a difference and you're making a difference every day. So thank you for everything you do, and let's all continue to lead with love. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, everyone.